LibreOffice, Microsoft Office alternative. LibreOffice is a complete, free office suite maintained by a non-profit organization called the Document Foundation. It has been around since 2010, and the latest version, LibreOffice 26.2, is the most capable release yet. Here is what you get inside: Writer for documents, exactly like Microsoft Word; Calc for spreadsheets, just like Excel; Impress for presentations, similar to PowerPoint; Draw for diagrams and vector graphics; Base for databases; Math for equations and formulas. That is the entire Microsoft Office lineup, and you pay nothing for any of it. LibreOffice opens and saves Word, Excel, and PowerPoint files with no conversion tricks. The latest version added support for Markdown import and export, improved visual connectors in Calc, faster EPUB export, and stronger compatibility with Microsoft Office documents. Overall, it works fully offline. No account required. No telemetry tracking your every keystroke. Entire governments, including parts of France and Germany, have moved to LibreOffice because of exactly these reasons. The only honest caveat: if your work involves very advanced Excel macros or highly complex PowerPoint animations, you may notice occasional differences. But for students, freelancers, small businesses, and most everyday users, LibreOffice is more than enough. Cost comparison: Microsoft 365 personal costs around $70 per year. LibreOffice costs $0. Forever. VLC Media Player, Universal Video Player. VLC is a free, open-source media player developed by the Videoland project, first released in 2001. The latest stable version is 3.0.23, released in January 2026, and it remains one of the most downloaded applications on the internet for good reason. It plays almost everything. MP4 MKVAVIMO FLAC TSM2 TSAZ, plus older and more obscure formats that most modern players have long abandoned. It handles 4K video, HDR content, 360-degree video, and 3D audio, and the program itself is small. The entire application is around 40 megabytes, which means it runs smoothly on machines that struggle with almost anything else, but most people only discover about 10% of what VLC can actually do. Beyond just playing files, VLC can convert video and audio between formats, stream media across a network, sync subtitles frame by frame, and handle DVD and Blu-ray disc playback. No ads, no tracking, no account needed. Just open your file and it plays. DaVinci Resolve, professional video editor. DaVinci Resolve is now on version 20, and the free version gives you a professional nonlinear video editor, Fusion for motion graphics and visual effects, Fairlight for full audio post-production, and the industry-standard color grading tools that have been used on actual Hollywood productions. Films like John Wick and La La Land were color graded in DaVinci Resolve. That is not a marketing claim, that is verifiable production history. The latest DaVinci Resolve 20 added over 100 new tools, including AI-powered features for video editing and audio production. Version 20.2 added an AI cinematic haze effect. Version 20.3 added support for 32K video workflows on the latest Apple M5 hardware. The free version lets you edit and export video at up to Ultra HD 4K resolution at 60 frames per second, with full access to the color grading system, Fusion effects, and Fairlight audio tools. If you want the paid upgrade, DaVinci Resolve Studio adds advanced AI tools, stereoscopic 3D support, and collaboration features. It costs $295 as a one-time purchase, not a subscription. That is less than a single year of Adobe Premiere Pro. The honest warning here: DaVinci Resolve expects a reasonably capable computer, especially the GPU, and the learning curve is steep. Opening it for the first time can feel overwhelming, but for YouTubers, filmmakers, and content creators, this replaces editing, VFX, audio, and color tools that would otherwise cost hundreds of dollars every year. OBS Studio, screen recording and live streaming. OBS Open Broadcaster software is a free, open-source screen recorder and live streaming application that has become the industry standard for creators worldwide. It runs on Windows, macOS, and Linux. The way OBS works is through a scene-based system. You create scenes, and inside each scene, you layer your sources, your screen capture, webcam feed, browser windows, images, audio inputs, overlays, alerts, anything you need. You can switch between those scenes live, giving you a real-time production environment on your own computer. OBS records in high quality and streams to virtually every platform: YouTube, Twitch, Facebook Live, and many others. It also supports a massive plugin ecosystem. There are plugins for Stream Deck integration, virtual cameras, NDI network video, advanced audio routing, and more. The latest OBS update rewrote the audio mixer from the ground up, added WebRTC simulcast support, and launched an initial plugin manager to make finding and installing plugins easier. The main challenge is the learning curve. Opening OBS for the first time and seeing every button and panel can feel confusing. But once the setup clicks, it becomes incredibly powerful, and compared to paid tools like Camtasia or Streamlabs Ultra, OBS saves you anywhere from $60 to $300 per year while genuinely being the better product for most users. GIMP, photo editing. GIMP, which stands for GNU Image Manipulation Program, is a free, open-source raster graphics editor that has been around since 1996. That makes it older than Google, and it has been actively developed the entire time. It handles layers, masks, filters, brushes, selection tools, color correction, photo retouching, and digital painting. With plugins, it can even open Photoshop PSD files and handle raw photo formats. For creating YouTube thumbnails, social media graphics, web images, or general photo editing, GIMP covers what most people actually need. Is it as polished as Photoshop? Not exactly. The interface can feel dated, some Photoshop keyboard shortcuts do not transfer cleanly, and print designers will notice the lack of native CMYK color support. But for digital work, and especially for anyone who does not want to pay $260 a year just to edit photos, GIMP is a genuinely capable tool. Audacity, audio editing. One rule in content creation that never changes: bad audio ends videos. People will tolerate imperfect visuals. They will not tolerate audio that sounds like it was recorded inside a cardboard box. Audacity has been helping creators fix audio since 2000. It is free, open source, and has become the default audio editor for a huge portion of the internet. It is a multi-track audio editor and recorder. You can cut and trim clips, remove background noise, normalize volume levels, apply EQ, compression, and effects, and clean up recordings that sounded terrible before editing. Audacity exports to all major formats including MP3, WAV, FLAC, and OGG. It also supports VST and LV2 plugins, which means you can expand it with professional-grade audio processing tools used in actual music production. One piece of honest history worth mentioning: in 2021, Audacity faced community concerns about changes to its data collection policy after an ownership change. The concerns were largely clarified and addressed, but it is a part of the software story that deserves transparency. Compared to paid tools like Adobe Audition, Audacity replaces software that can cost $100 or more per year, while keeping basic audio cleanup completely free. Blender, 3D creation. Blender is a free, open-source 3D creation suite developed by the non-profit Blender Foundation in Amsterdam. It started as a commercial product at a Dutch animation studio in 1994, became open source in 2002, and has since grown into a complete professional pipeline in a single application. Inside Blender you get 3D modeling and sculpting, rigging, animation, physics simulations, rendering with 2 built-in render engines, cycles for photorealism, EVE for real-time speed, video editing, visual effects compositing, and even 2D animation through a tool called Grease Pencil. The community funding and corporate support that Blender attracts has grown significantly. Epic Games, AMD, Nvidia, Meta, and Netflix are all members of the Blender Development Fund, which directly funds the software's ongoing development, and real productions use it. Work on Spider-Man, Across the Spider-Verse included Blender. Netflix's animated film Next Gen was made substantially in Blender. These are not indie experiments, these are production quality results. The catch is honest: Blender has the steepest learning curve of any tool on this list. Opening it for the first time is genuinely overwhelming. But the creators who push through that curve end up making things that look like professional studio output and paying nothing to do it. Obsidian, note-taking and knowledge management. Most note-taking apps today want your notes in the cloud, behind an account, synced through a subscription, and ideally integrated with 3 AI features you never asked for. Obsidian goes in the opposite direction. Released in 2020, Obsidian is a free note-taking application that stores everything locally on your own computer using plain text markdown files. No account required. No internet connection needed. No loading screen just to open a grocery list. The feature that made people genuinely obsessive about it is bidirectional linking. You can connect notes to other notes and build a personal knowledge network. Obsidian then visualizes those connections as a graph, a web of linked ideas that you can actually navigate. The plugin ecosystem is enormous. There are over 1,500 community plugins covering calendars, task management, flashcards, AI writing tools, spaced repetition, and nearly every productivity workflow humans have invented. The one genuine limitation: syncing across devices costs extra through Obsidian's built-in sync service. Without it, you need to set up your own sync using Dropbox, iCloud, or a similar tool. For many people, that is a minor inconvenience. For others, it is a deal breaker. But for students, researchers, writers, and anyone tired of note apps that get slower and more expensive with every update, Obsidian is a serious alternative to paid tools like Notion or Evernote, and your notes stay fully under your own control. Scratch, learning to code. Most programming environments start by showing you a wall of symbols and expecting you to figure it out. Scratch takes an entirely different approach. Developed by the MIT Media Lab and launched in 2007, Scratch teaches programming through visual building blocks. Instead of typing code, you drag and connect pieces together, and those pieces control animations, games, stories, and interactive projects. The concepts underneath are real programming: loops, variables, conditional logic, events, and functions. These are the same building blocks that professional developers use every day. Scratch just removes the part where one misplaced character crashes everything. It runs directly in a web browser, with no installation required. Schools around the world adopted it quickly for exactly this reason. The platform now has over 100 million shared projects, making it one of the largest programming communities on Earth. While paid coding platforms charge yearly subscriptions for beginner programming lessons, Scratch provides a legitimate first step into computational thinking at no cost. And for many working developers today, Scratch is exactly where the whole thing started. Game development. Godot is a free, open-source game engine released under the MIT license. MIT license means no fees, no royalties, no revenue cuts, no surprise policy changes. You make your game, you sell your game, you keep everything. The terms literally cannot be changed retroactively because the code is open source. The community could simply fork it if anyone tried. Godot supports both 2D and 3D game development. It uses a scene node system that makes projects clean and organized once you understand the structure. Developers can write in GDScript, which feels similar to Python, or in C# for those coming from other backgrounds. Real, commercially shipped games have been made in Godot, including titles like Cassette Beasts and Dome Keeper. Its 2D engine in particular is considered one of the best available anywhere, free or paid. The honest limitations: Godot's 3D tools do not yet match what Unreal Engine produces for high-fidelity visuals, and the asset ecosystem is smaller than Unity's. For AAA-level, photorealistic 3D games, other engines still lead. But for indie developers, hobbyists, students, and smaller studios, especially those who value actually owning the tools they use, Godot has become the most interesting choice in game development. And the price is zero. Every time. Which of these tools are you already using? And which one surprised you the most? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. If this video helped you find something useful, hit the like button. It genuinely helps more people find this content. And if you want to stay updated on the best free tools, productivity tips, and software that actually makes a difference, subscribe. The next video is already ready for you.